Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I should say this is likely a YouTube shadow band astrological segment. We're going to be talking about Jupiter conjunct the South Node in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. And they were a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on them, in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, the first thing up is if you have Jupiter conjunct the South Node in a natal chart, there may be a tremendous amount of exuberance and enthusiasm, which is Jupiter, in activities that are connected with your past, which is the South Node. Now, let's say if the South Node is in Capricorn as an example. Past, maybe there were, could be connected with business, career-related matters. It may have something to do with something Capricorn-related, whether it be, architecture, construction, dentistry, accounting, math, something with information technology, even mountain or rock climbing as some examples. Also, too, if you have Jupiter conjunct the South Node in the natal chart, it may also manifest really a lot of intensification, because that's what conjunctions are about, intense need to get away, which is the South Node, from, could be the negative qualities connected with Jupiter, such as recklessness and extravagance, and, which is Jupiter. And the thing about this aspect as well is that in-laws and foreigners, which is Jupiter, may figure prominently in matters pertaining to the past, which is the South Node. Now, if the South Node is in Taurus as an example, the past may have been tied in with it may have been some kind of money-making endeavor, trying to attain greater financial acumen. It may have been doing something Taurus-related, whether it be geology, carpet laying, architecture, banking, finance, art, music, as some examples. And another thing, too, is that those that, played an integral role in your past, which is the South Node, they may be people that are jovial, jocular, philosophical, adventurous, even blunt, and optimistic, which is Jupiter. Now, if the South Node is in Gemini, as an example, those people that played an integral role in your past, one or more, may actually be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be those, that are very mercurial, loquacious, adaptable, versatile, dexterous, inquisitive, but yet can be contradictory, very changeable, and maybe have a tendency to gossip as well, as some examples. Now, another thing too about Jupiter conjunct the South Node in a natal chart, it may also be expressed, and there could be some natural built-in ability, which is the South Node. It could be for sports, outdoor activities, religion, philosophy, publishing, advertising, and the law, which is Jupiter. And, if you have, say, if the conjunction, say, is in Virgo, this may be done, these activities may be done in a more systematic, methodical fashion, with a lot of, punctuality and reliability and acute attention to detail. Now, another thing about this aspect in the natal chart, it may also manifest in that, Jupiter-related people, may play, or Jupiterian people, may play a pivotal role in, activities where, things that you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node. Now, if the South Node is in Aquarius, as an example, those things you're naturally proficient in, may be connected with humanitarian, altruistic endeavors, astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, innovation, meteorology, and aviation as some examples. Even rocket science, or even it could be model rocket, constructing model rockets in some cases as a hobby or a thing of enjoyment. As some examples. And when I say Jupiter-related people, that covers a number of persons, of course. That could include in-laws, foreigners. It could be, people that are involved in sports, the outdoors, religion, philosophy, printing press operation, publishing, and advertisers is some examples. Now, another thing, too, is that if you have Jupiter conjunct the South Node in a natal chart, you may have really, an exorbitant amount of optimism, which is Jupiter, in going away from, the energy, that may be affecting you to your detriment, which is the South Node. Now, again, go to South Node in Aquarius as an example, that energy, and it may be affecting you to your detriment. It could be could be some kind of very strong idiosyncratic or rebellious, non-conforming behavior. Maybe it's just simply being unique for the sake of being unique. If the South Node is in Virgo, as another example, it could be, very, overly, cynical, negative, pessimistic kind of manner, or, being overly judgmental or critical, as, some examples. And another thing about this aspect in the natal chart and how it may be expressed is that you may emphasize, many Jupiterian qualities in that first half of life, which is connected with the South Node. Now, as far as Jupiterian qualities go, it covers a number of, qualities. That could be, being jovial, jocular, philosophical, humorous, also being comical, being adventurous, optimistic, expansive, but also, it could also indicate being very reckless and extravagant as well. Remember, conjunctions, are neutral aspects, and, though this aspect may be, fortuitous and lucky in some instances for matters connected with the South Node, it could also enlarge the qualities, good and bad, connected with it. Now, another thing about this aspect in the natal chart is that, again, as far as enlarging, which is Jupiter, it could enlarge the developed, redundant qualities that are associated with the South Node placement. Now, let's say, going back to the South Node in Virgo again as an example, those overdeveloped, redundant qualities, it could be about, really just, analyzing things to the point where it doesn't need to be analyzed. Over-analysis. It's like seeing the Dwad within the Dwad in a natal chart. It's in an astrological placement in a natal chart as an example. Also, too, in some instances, I would say as well, there may be some removal, which is, I would say, the South Node, because South Node is what we're going away from. It could be, the liver, thighs, pancreas, or sciatic nerve, because that's connected with Jupiter. If let's say also too, Jupiter conjunct the South Node in a natal chart may also be expressed in just being, lucky and fortunate, which is Jupiter. It could be fortuitous for doing things, you're comfortable with, which is the South Node, but it could also enlarge those activities as well. And, enlargement with the South Node is not always great, because it's taking you away to some degree from focusing on the North Node, which is what you're really being directed to. But anyway, if the South Node is in Aries as an example, those things you're comfortable with, it could be, matters, starting things, early, new projects and endeavors, doing things that are pioneering. It could be adventure, or things that are very action-oriented. It might be matters connected with confrontation and, battles, or it could be doing something, Aries related, whether it's something with the military or carpentry, welding, arson investigation, law enforcement, combat sports, which can include karate, judo, boxing, and wrestling as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay